One. We are live.
Regularly scheduled meeting of the Bourbon County Board of Education is now in session. Let it be noted that all members are present with the exception of Ms. Fryman. This month's devotional is by Randy Sparks.
All righty, mine's gonna be kind of short and simple. Usually like the way I do it. With all the COVID stuff going on, I thought it's pretty good to pull a Bible verse or two out talking about fear. So 2 Timothy 1:7 says, "For God hath not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and of a sound mind." And I had one more here. Isaiah 41:10 said, "Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of thy righteousness."
And Ms. Fryman did show up. Next is adoption of the agenda. Anything anyone would like to move from consent to action or vice versa? If not, the agenda stands as is. Next is achievement and recognition, and the good news report is by North Middletown this month.
All right, I'm going to share my screen, hopefully. See if we can get it going here.
Is that you, Roman?
All right, Gail, looking good so far.
I'm trying. I don't see anything. Is it sharing?
All we got is your Zoom part of your.
Okay, let me put that
So
down.
click on the Google Slides part. I see it there.
Top of the screen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now we're getting somewhere. Now you can hit present if you want to
Okay.
the top right. Present. That works too.
Okay.
All right. Good job.
To the beginning. There we go. Sorry. On my last slide, I don't know why.
Y'all get to preview. You know where she's
We
going.
need to start with a few of our children and their beautiful smiling faces because they're so happy to be back at school. We started our year with Brigance with our kindergarten students, and they did it outside. It happened to be a beautiful day, no rain, and all that good stuff. And I believe all of our kiddos came that day except for maybe one, and we got him later on. And I think they did an excellent job that day, and we appreciated our preschool teachers and Miss Maynard coming out to assist with that. I put this slide in just to let you see a little bit about some of the changes we've made because of COVID. As you can see, we have our little, I guess they're like the little labels that go on to tell the kids where to stand. We always say stand on your dot. Helps with social distancing. We've also started our breakfast, grab and go breakfast. And then the temperature checks. As you can see, Mrs. Tapman here, she's getting a temperature check as they get off the bus. And we also do that with our cars. And in our cafeteria, we are social distancing, and we put dots on the seats where they're allowed to sit, and we track who sits in that and clean in between. That kind of lets them know right away that they're sitting where they need to be with that dot. And then we have our sanitized and not sanitized signs on the doors so that the cleaning ladies can quickly see which rooms have been done. Here we have just a little snapshot of classrooms. So all kids K through 5 have desks. Some classrooms, of course, we couldn't get 6 feet apart, but they wear their masks at all times anyway, so it works. And then this is our music, and she has been getting creative. She has covered things because she doesn't want to destroy them with all the cleaning. So she covers it so she can easily clean like this drum back here has a shower cap on top, so she can clean the shower cap without hurting the drum itself. And I believe she put a clear trash bag on this equipment down here. So they're allowed to use them, but she's being very, very particular about her interns. Last night we had our first family engagement night of the year, and the kiddos, along with King Ridge, went to Bourbon County Drive-In. And as you can see here, they received books. Charlotte's Web was the movie, and then the older students received Charlotte's Web, and the younger students received Walter's Wonderful Web. And I think we had several come out, not as many as if we did it at school, but we were pleased, and I'm sure Cambridge had a few more than we did, but at least we are trying to get our family engagement nights going. We also had our, backwards. We also had our picture day, and as you can see, this little gal came in. She came in the afternoon because she is doing virtual, but she was still able to get her picture taken. We staggered our kiddos and were able to get them all in. So they had their picture day, and up here is just another snapshot of music. She doesn't have carpets in there or anything like that, and they are a social distance. And then I put a little bit, it's so exciting to see work in the hallways again. Here you can see just a few things. A lot of the teachers have been chatting with the kids about masks and stuff so that they understand the importance. And here they were doing cursive names and making some creative drawings out of those. And then we had our custodians on October the 2nd. 5th grade honored our custodians with some cards that they made. And I think it just tickled them to death to be recognized. And they deserve it. They're doing a lot of extra right now for us. And then we have had 3 ladies so far who have made masks for our kids. The first picture is Aggie Fink, and she is the grandmother of some former students. And then the second picture is Linda Feathers, and she is the grandmother of a current student. And then Vicki Lizer in the last picture, a bus driver that has made masks. We put these in the Family Resource Center, and when kids need one, they can go and get some. And I know Vicki has come to get some to put on the bus because she needs them there. So we're very excited that our community's helping out. And then this was just a little bit of our communities of support pictures that I want to share. North Middletown Christian Church, they donated 100 bottles of shampoo to the Family Resource Center. And this lady here from the North Middletown Christian Church brought by some treats. And this makes the second month they've brought by all this lovely chocolates and a card. Just to let staff know they're thinking of them and they know it's a struggle right now. So we're so appreciative of them. And I didn't put all the pictures of the big breakfast, but our PTA gave the teachers a large breakfast one morning and had that sign with it. So we were appreciative of that. And then I think I mentioned it before about the laptops being donated. And that's just a snapshot of 2 of the 11 laptops that were donated to our school. And as usual, you're always welcome to come out and visit us. We will take your temperature and guide you through our building. But we also want to thank you for supporting our schools. And just know that we appreciate you and we're blessed to have you guiding us. Anyone have any questions?
Good. Thanks.
All right.
Next is student and staff recognition, and then we have the Colonel Awards. Candace, you want to give those out?
We have one of our recipients here, Beth, if you want to come on up, and I just want to say that Beth does an amazing job at Bourbon Central. Mr. Cleaver brags on her all the time because she sure knows how to work with bus drivers and do a lot of the organizational pieces and keeping everything organized. You're gonna get a picture? Yeah. So Ben, thank you for all that you do out there.
Candace, you wanna give her a ring?
No.
Cause people be talking about it. Oh, wait a minute, what's wrong with camera here? I'm not professional. No, it's not. Okay, got it. Thank you.
And
thank
Ben, are you
Thank-
on your way now?
I am.
I figured.
We have our literacy like at the
Oh.
drive-in, so that's
All
all
right,
right.
then.
Good
Thank
cool.
you all. Have fun.
Thank you.
Thank
What are
you.
y'all playing? Charlotte. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's gonna be so much fun. And our second one was not able to be here tonight, but it is Miranda Jones from the preschool. And Melissa just talked so much about it. Doesn't matter what you ask her to do, she just does it with a big smile on her face. And I'll make sure Melissa gets that big smile on her face. And she's just been around us for so long, and we love Miss Miranda. So congratulations to her. Miss Hamilton, we will get this to you to give to her tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Item 2 is communications versus public comment. No one signed up. Next is board reports. Anyone have anything to report? Did our numbers, kids coming back in person, change much this week? I didn't.
No, not really this week. I'm gonna go over
Okay.
those with you in just a second.
Okay. Any other board
Got some
reports?
percentages.
If not, next is the superintendent report.
Okay, so for some of those numbers, and Wes, if you don't mind, if you could try to pull up the dashboard that shows how many kids and students have, and if you'll just go to KDE, click on COVID, if you can do that, you'll see over to the right the dashboard. I tried to print it a few minutes ago, and it wouldn't print out. Then I can't get it to pull up on my phone either.
You talking about the map,
Chart's too big.
the map that we,
It's the K through 12. Just start pulling up on it.
Yeah, you'll see it over to the side just as soon. But while you're doing that, I'm gonna just talk about the virtual versus in-person enrollment. At Bourbon Central, they have 58% of their, or I'll start with preschool. I'm sorry, 70% of our preschool kids are coming in person, and 30% virtual. Bourbon Central, 58% are in person, with 42% virtual. North Middletown, they have the highest percentage, and they're 78% in person and 22% virtual. Cane Ridge has 62% in person and 38% virtual. The middle school's 48% in person with 52% virtual. High school looks a little bit different. 11% of those students are doing Apex. 10% are coming into the virtual hub, and 79% are at home. So, does that answer your?
What was Cane Ridge again?
Cane Ridge is 62% in person. So, right now they're doing registration because the 9 weeks ends, I think, on the 28th. They're doing registration all this week, into some of next week, but they want to give a couple of weeks to get all the bus routes. So they're, hoping that some of our kids that come back, we get them on routes, get the routes worked out, and can safely transport into school. High school, I worked with them on Tuesday. I think we had a kind of a lengthy meeting that was a Zoom meeting. There were, we had a parent, we had different people on his leadership team, and we talked about what the high school can do to get more students in virtual or in person in their school. And they're looking at an AV day to keep numbers down. But people I've talked to seem pretty excited about that. Sarah Garrison, I want to give her a shout out because she did a great job with talking about how she does virtual and in person at the same time. And I think we'll need some help with our tech department, but she said a microphone was really important, that she has a mic on. She had, I think she said 2 or 3 cameras going on in the room that she thought that really helped as far as the virtual kids being able to see what she's doing in the classroom. So she just encouraged the rest of the group and said, that she was really worried and anxious when school started, but it's worked out really well. She goes down to the hub, pulls her kids out, and then takes them back to the classroom. They're socially distanced. So I'm really proud of Miss Garrison for kind of being a leader there. So we're anxious to see how many kids sign up to come back in. November would be right after election day would be that time back in.
Here's the graph.
Okay. And I can't see it from here. That just shows the number of students last week and then ever. If you want to go up to the chart a little bit up there.
Right here.
Yeah, can you make it? Or Candace, you just read what they are. I can't.
So the last reported, the current week, so there's 1 quarantine staff and 11 total quarantine students. And then last week there was a total of 32 quarantine students and 8 quarantine staff. So your all-time ever since reporting was 57 quarantine students and then the 10 staff.
And then
Now that's over.
Current positive cases too. That's on the other side, right?
Where?
Over on the first 2 columns.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So
It was 5.
students.
But they used that last week actually represents the last 14 days.
last
Yeah.
14 days. 14 days. And Mr. Ishmael's putting that in each day. We know we have a little bit of problem with North Middletown. We get kind of like a report like this that just shows every day, and it shows every school in the state of Kentucky, and then it shows each district. But North Middletown, we're going to find out what's going on because he sent me a screenshot that shows that he's putting the data in, but it's just not there. And I looked up Middletown, I looked up, every north, and looked at them spelled separately together. Couldn't find anything with Bourbon County like that. So we're going to look into that tomorrow and find out what's going on so we can accurately report that.
So do they have any additional to add to that, or North Middletown itself?
He sent me a text. I was trying to think of.
You don't have 5 students, right?
Yeah. That was total district.
He had 1 staff member that's positive, and then 2 students are quarantined, and 3 students quarantined.
In the whole district?
No, just at North Middletown. That would be added to those numbers.
Oh, who's in here?
Oh, Mr. Ishmael had sent me that.
NBC did a report this morning. It was a study that went on, and they said that it showed that kids in school were not contributing to the spread of it. So they felt really good about that. I was surprised NBC reported something like that.
So Candace, when we came back like the first week with kids back in, and we started seeing a rise with a couple of cases as far as staff members go, would that have been attributed to students that quickly?
It just depends on where they're at in that chain of infection. So it depends on their viral load.
Okay.
You've got like a 14-day period that you can pretty much show symptoms. Usually it's 10, but the health department will quarantine you for 14 days because in that period of time you can start to show symptoms, which means you're possibly infected.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I just wondered if, like, on that Wednesday of the first week that we were back, was that because maybe a child was spreading, or
A lot of those,
would it
so
not
they
happen that quickly?
they got it the weekend before we started back.
Yeah.
So
Some
So
of
you
them
haven't
did.
locked out at the very first day.
Yeah,
Because it had already occurred. So.
yeah, that's what I was wondering. How many days had it already occurred? And then the break from fall break, so we had a break. So I'm kind of wondering what.
It might ebb and flow a little bit because did they travel? Did they go to a hot
Right.
spot? That type of thing. So, where
Yeah.
were they during break?
Yeah.
So it's just, I think that's just a pattern in the community right now.
Okay.
So currently, how many students and how many staff do we have quarantined?
Yeah.
It was 5 students that had it.
6, including, no, you got 3 extra quarantined in North Middletown student-wise. You got 1 extra staff member in North Middletown.
That's right. North Middletown wasn't on that report.
Right.
So we have 2 staff,
That's positive, yeah.
yeah, and 8 students.
How many did you say was at North Middletown?
I think he's already closed it.
I-
Oh, at North Middletown, just at North Middletown?
Yeah, because there was 5 on the report.
Yeah, and I thought you said 3 at North Middletown.
I think
Just
there's
quarantine.
3.
There you go.
Not positive, just.
Current week, number of new staff is 2. Number of quarantined students is 11, and quarantined staff is 1.
Wait a minute, I don't have any students at North Middletown that have it. I have 3 that are quarantined.
Right.
So we got
You have another staff member in there.
And then I have 1 positive staff member.
That's new this week.
Right.
Is this considering every staff member, or just teachers?
No, it's every staff member. There's not a district that you put in information in, so we just tie, like a bus driver, if they drive primarily from North Middletown, we would tie that into there. Or Jim Cleaver would get tied into maybe the middle school because we're here on this campus. So I don't know if they'll go back and make just a district personnel, but I guess because it didn't have students tied to it, maybe is why they aren't reporting that way. Alright. The cleaning contract's going really well with Anderson Commercial Cleaning. We've been able to have extra people, which has really helped because we've had some of our personnel out sick and she's been able to send extra over. Mr. Mitchell at the high school, where he doesn't have very many students in his building, he's been very, very good to send his cleaning people out to other places. So we're just kind of trying to work as a team, and Dana went in early this morning to clean because somebody's out. So there's just a lot of challenges, and we know those things. We have to do it no matter what. So that's going really well. Does anybody have any questions about the virtual or in-person numbers? All right, Melissa, at this time, if you share the Head Start report.
Okay. Hang on 1 second. I am so sorry.
Let me ask you something while she's hunting for that, and if you have to come back to it, I understand. When you talked about that they were talking about coming back 2 days a week at the high school, those who are going currently 5 days a week to the high school, will they continue going 5 days?
Yes, that's a good question. Yes, we really feel like a lot of there's 70-some students up there right now, or 80. We really feel like that's important because a lot of those students are there because maybe they had internet problems. So the hub is still going to be there for kids that want to stay in that kind of setting.
Miss Baker, can I interrupt?
Yes.
Hey, I want to be careful not to overstate that. I think what we're probably moving to is if we're doing the AB hybrid, is on that middle day, allowing those hub kids to, of course, continue being in the hub. We're kind of struggling with where to put those hub kids on their off day, so their day that they're not live in the building. So if they're assigned to Group A, where do they go on Group B days?
So did I misunderstand the conversation that we had?
Well,
in the
it was
meeting?
still just one of those open topics. I just want to be careful not to overstate it and say that they're definitely still going to be there for 5 days. They would still be there for 3 of the 5 days for sure.
I don't think we can do that. And the board has said that they can come back 5 days a week. There's no reason that should change. Those who want to do that.
I think that's something we can try our best to work on. Mr. Mitchell, do you
I'm
agree?
going to go ahead and speak up, Ms. Baker. Miss Fryman, if I can't make the AB thing work because of that, then I'm still stuck with the virtual hub.
The board voted for one of the options to be that students could return in person 5 days a week.
And that option that I'm able to provide at the high school is the virtual hub. And I'm trying to come up with a way to get more kids in the building, and that's the AB thing.
But if you don't go over the 50%, you still got capacity for to have some of those kids there every day. Then, correct? Because I think 50% was where you had to go to AB.
I think, is your concern personnel?
I'm sorry, was that for me?
Yes. Are you most concerned about personnel or certification issues?
Are you talking about are you talking about those hub kids?
Yes, in order for those kids to get to stay 5 days a week.
Yeah, but no, actually it's a space issue because of the personnel issue. I gotta have a place for those kids whose teachers are not able to have a teacher in front of them. Those teachers that we talked about before. I've got to have a place for those kids to go when their teacher's not able to have them in front of them, and that we were going to utilize the hub for those kids during that time. I hope that's making sense. I know it's hard to talk it through this computer instead of face to face. And I can't see you guys right now, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, Melissa's sharing her screen.
So you're saying that students that are going to the high school 5 days a week, you can have them in front of a teacher 4 days a week, but you don't think on the 5th day, whatever day that is, you're thinking that they'll be in front of a computer.
Not at all. No, ma'am. That's not part of that at all.
What are you saying then?
So what I'm saying is, right now we have a 5 day a week plan, and that's the virtual hub. So I'm able to provide the 5 day a week plan that we currently have. In trying to bring more kids into the building, part of that idea is what is the hybrid, and that's what our dish. And I feel like I've stepped all over Melissa's presentation here.
We can get back to that.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, Shane, go ahead and explain. Melissa, are you okay for a minute to hang tight?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Melissa, if you want to stop sharing your screen for now, and we'll get Shane on there, and maybe he can help. Shane, I'll pin you up here. They can see you now.
Okay. Hey, so in the hybrid idea, and I will tell you the hybrid idea after Miss Baker and myself and my assistant principals made phone calls to other districts in our region that are very similar to our makeup. Those districts that you're hearing are going back to school. Their high schools are doing the AB hybrid for the most part. And I can share these documents with you later if you would like, but Miss Baker, of course, also has them. So on the AB hybrid, what you have is what our other schools are doing, our other high schools in our region. They have so far had roughly 60% of their kids say they want to go to the hybrid. That means roughly 30% of their kids are in the school on any given day. So for us, if our numbers fall in line with those regional numbers, that would be roughly 250 kids in the high school on an A day, and a different 250 kids in the school on a B day. Does that make sense?
Over 500 kids. Chuck's got it.
Seen the top of his head moving.
Can you not hear me?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. So then the kids that are in the hub, and the hub kids, I will tell you that those kids are a concern for me because the kids that are coming to the hub are definitely kids that have committed to, I need to be here because of whatever issues. And so that's, we've seen a lot of improvement in our hub kids and grades, participation. It's been a really good thing for those kids that are coming. I would like to, we're reaching out to kids that are failing and inviting them directly, like, we want you to come to the hub. Not a lot are taking us up on that. Sometimes those failing kids are the kids that they're failing because they don't want to participate. So we're trying really hard to bring those kids in to the hub. Now, those kids that are in the hub right now, they're sitting in spaces that would be the space that, and I'm going to make up a name. If I go to Miss Smith's class for second period and Miss Smith isn't able to have me there, I've got to have someplace to go to be supervised. And so if I was supposed to go to Miss Smith for second period, instead I'm going to report to the hub. But I only have so much space inside of the hub, and that's why adding more kids to the hub or keeping the kids that are currently also in the hub in there is a potential problem. I'm trying really hard to keep those kids in the hub all 5 days, but we're not going to know that until we do a registration.
Well, I understood that if you can't place students 6 feet apart, then they're required to wear a mask.
Well, they're required to wear a mask regardless.
But if you can't seat them 6 feet apart, they have to wear a mask. And so you would be able to put more students in those classrooms, even though they're not 6 feet apart.
That is correct, because we have classrooms at the elementary level that have over 20 kids in them. We're trying to get them as far away from each other as we can. But the guidelines say 6 feet if possible.
And again, I want to reiterate, this is what, when you guys are hearing that Harrison County's open or that Montgomery County's open, and I might misspeak on here, but these counties that are near us, that are similar to us, as far as being a rural district, our region, that type of thing, when we made phone calls to those principals at those high schools are reporting that they're on a hybrid plan. They're not on a 5-day-a-week plan. And the one school that we did call that was on a 5-day-a-week plan reported to us that they were actually doing what we're doing now. They had to change to a virtual hub where they're doing that out of their home rooms. So those kids were staying in their home room and learning virtually, just like we're doing with our virtual hub now.
Yeah, Shane, every district I contacted was an AB. They were doing an AB.
Yep, the AB hub,
and we collected all that data and put it into a Google sheet, and it shows who talked to them, what their setup was. Everyone I called was AB.
I don't think an AB plan is workable. It doesn't help those parents who need their children to be in school. It doesn't help them be able to go back to work when they're only coming to school 2 or 3 days a week. And those students who don't have internet, that doesn't help them. And so I think we need to go with a plan to where those students who need to come 5 days a week can come 5 days a week.
Well, and that's what we have now with the hub.
Yes.
So you got 60 students there right now, roughly?
Today, 70. I think we had 74.
74.
We have 80 on the list that are supposed to be coming. Today we had 74 actually in attendance, if I remember correctly.
And Shane, what did you estimate the other night that you thought if we go to an AB, how many more students that would get back into the building? Did you
500.
say something about like 30% more?
That was a 500. You said, right? You
250 each
60.
day.
250
And
each
again,
day?
that's a complete guesstimate based on what other districts are seeing. They're seeing
Which would be
roughly
about
60%.
30%.
And so roughly 60% of us is 500 kids.
So the original plan was you could probably get back with about 50% before you had to go to AB. I think, wasn't that when you were coming up with the original plan back 2 or 3 months ago?
But I think we had issue. I don't know. Explain that again.
Well, I thought somebody said that when back a couple of months ago when
Oh.
we had the plan that you could get if we got past 50 or 60%, then you'd have to go to an AB.
I think though that the difference is that we have teachers that are medically compromised, their health is compromised, and that's some of the problem that he's running into is he doesn't have enough personnel to put in the building to be in classrooms, and he was getting into some certification issues as well.
So you couldn't get subs and have those teachers take FMLA.
We could, but when you do
Okay,
that,
so-
you're gonna get. Can I finish? When you get that, you're going to have subs, we have wonderful subs, but those teachers that are teaching virtually, even if they're teaching virtually from home, I would think that instruction would be higher quality than what the sub could provide, especially in very specialized, like some of the high school teachers. You've got chemistry and calculus and AP English. I think that would be very hard for a sub to.
Because most subs I get are not certified teachers. They're just emergency
Right.
non-certification. You know what I'm saying? They're just, you know what I mean? They don't know.
It's
any of
very
that
rare to
stuff.
have subs that can go in
Yeah.
and teach
Yeah.
chemistry or.
How many teachers are out in high school?
Shane, the question was how many teachers are you talking about that have
Yeah.
medical?
That basically aren't teaching or coming back. As long
Well,
as it's
they're
still on.
teaching virtually right now.
But how many? You're asking how many is not willing
How
to be
many's
in
not willing to
person?
come back to the building?
Yeah.
How many are roughly an estimate? How many do not feel comfortable or safe being around kids because of health conditions?
We have 12 medical notes currently, and there were another 13 teachers that were uncomfortable, but who have not pursued a medical note because they're comfortable with the current situation.
So it's all the high school. It's the biggest problem is with high school teachers, middle school.
Yeah, everything else is okay. This is all it's simply this is all high school. It's not.
Yeah, but middle
Everybody
school-
else is staying like they are.
Middle school's willing to go back.
Yes.
They're not going to AB.
Only
The AB
would be
is
the high
just high school.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, the point I'm making is the middle school teachers are okay doing it. The
Yeah.
elementary teachers are okay doing it. The high school student teachers seem to be kind of, I don't know the way of putting it, not willing to come back. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, since we have to pay those teachers anyway, that are saying they want just to teach virtually and have a medical excuse, let them continue to teach virtually, but we can put someone in the building, a substitute,
Well,
that can.
I think Andrea's going to be really worried about that. They're allocated a certain number, and do we have the money to? We don't even have the subs for Dana to do that, because then the rest of the county, when rest of the district, when those teachers are truly sick, who would we put out there? I mean, we don't have that many subs to go in every single day.
And I have several subs that don't want to sub
And then, there's a financial issue there too. I mean, you're gonna give them their allocation, plus you're gonna equip the whole school, or how many, up to 26 teachers extra?
Well, put them in hubs and then let it be virtually taught with those teachers distanced from them. Let them come, but put them in hubs.
Right now.
Well, I think that's what he's doing
More
now.
hubs, like have some in the cafeteria and some in the library and some, and we got some now in the gym. Put them in the auditorium. Have more hubs.
So you'd be talking about having probably 320 students on a single day instead of 250 that you're talking about. If you let the ones, or are those 70 included in? I guess they're included in that 250. So you got 35 students away from that. So you got what, can't do my math there. 215 on a normal day, not counting since you got the ones that's already there. If that makes any sense.
I mean, we're doing guesstimate math at this
Right.
point. You know, guesstimating about 250 kids on an A day and another 250 on a B day. And then on the non-day, of course, the kids who are already in the virtual hub would still come in on the non-day, and then they wouldn't come in on their their B day. So if they were assigned to the A group, they wouldn't come in on B day.
But they would still be getting instruction on B day.
Absolutely.
I think that's kind of
So you're right. The way it is right now, in order for those kids that are there right now, they're the ones that's gonna want to go every day, like what you're talking about, Ms. Fryman. I think the
Well, I
70.
don't know.
So
There
you
may
got to
be
find a
others.
spot for 35 students each day, an additional 35 students.
Well, but there may be others that want to come back 5 days a week too.
Well, I think they would already be
And
there.
so-
They did a registration for that.
I know, but they may have changed their mind, and there may be more because this is dragging on and dragging on. And so I think you should just do hubs and let those teachers that don't want to be near students or anyone else teach them. They have the certification to teach them virtually, but we'll have people there to supervise the large groups on their computers. That's better than 2 days here and 2 days there.
Mr. Mitchell, can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
You guys hear me?
we can hear you, buddy.
Okay, Mr. Mitchell, what is your plan if you could do this? I mean, well, I'm hearing all these different numbers coming up. So what would your ideal situation be to take care of this?
So ideally, my next phase of getting more kids into the building is the AB hybrid that I've been working on, that our committee worked on, as the next stage of reopening.
So are you okay?
All I was stepping in to mention, when I stepped in, was that I didn't want to guarantee that I still had a 5-day-a-week thing for those kids that were coming in. I want to work that out, but I don't want to guarantee it, like in the minutes of the board or anything. I can't promise that I can make it work.
Understand? Okay, that's what I'm getting out of all this listening to you all is, what is our ultimate plan to take care of the students we want to get back in there that need to be and want to be, back in that school situation. And I'm doing a whole lot more listening than I am talking because I don't know quite enough to give you all, tell you what to do. But thank you for what you're trying to get done and accomplish. Appreciate it.
I wanna say I do think the AV plan is good for kids to have 4 really great days of instruction. Whether it be they'll have virtual 2 days, 2 days of in person, and then that. And Shane, you can talk just a minute what that Wednesday would look like. I think that's a great way. I think that's a great way to get that instruction in and keep kids and staff safe. Because I don't want us to forget about safety because our incident rates are.
And you got to remember, when you compare us to the elementary or the middle school, our kids have to transition between classes. So we cannot have kids in a homeroom for the day getting instruction. Like at the elementary teacher, those teachers are able to be with the same, currently 22 kids all day long. At the middle school, they're rotating the teacher to those 3 classrooms. And at the high school, those kids have to transition to all the classes.
But if you have them in hubs, then they're not transitioning. They're just looking at different teachers on their screen.
Yep. And that's what we're doing right now, Ms. Ryan.
Yes, and so if you do more hubs, then you can have more kids there 5 days a week.
But the kids don't want to come in with
They're not. That's why you only got 70
You
kids.
can open it up. The kids.
We got more room now.
The kids are saying we can do this at home, so why don't we stay in the comfort of our home where we're safe?
So Miss Froman, I'm going to agree with you for once. Hey, I love our hub plan. I think our hub plan is going well. My problem with the hub plan is we don't have as many kids in there as we want. I was really thinking and hoping that we would have 150 to 200 kids take advantage of the hub. But we only have, 80 kids taking advantage. So the idea behind the AB is trying to give the kids something else that they apparently desire in order to get more kids face to face.
If you offer the AB plan, earlier you were saying that you didn't know if you would be able to let the children come 5 days a week that want to. Can you say that now?
I'm sorry, you broke up. Say it again.
Earlier you said if you went with the AB plan, that kids that are going 5 days a week may not be able to do that if you go with the AB plan. Can you say now that they can go with, you can offer the AB plan as another option, but those students who still want to come 5 days a week and be in that hub will be able to do that?
And I can't guarantee that. It's going to depend on the registration number.
That's what I thought you said, and I don't think that's fair. We said as a board that that would be one of the options, that if you wanted to come 5 days a week, you could, and I don't want to go away from that. I want that still to be an option for those parents and students who choose that. And then AB plan could be another option, and Apex and Independent and all those others.
And the problem comes down to a space issue for the hubs. And that, so I just simply wanted to say, I can't guarantee it in this plan. I agree. I badly want those 80 kids who have said they want to come to school 5 days a week already. I badly want those 80 kids in the building.
I don't understand why you don't have space. I don't understand that.
Because the students who can't be in a classroom with a teacher in front of their face have to have someplace to go during that class period. And right now, that's up to 10 classes at one time.
Okay, where do you have them right now?
At home.
No, the ones that are coming 5 days a week.
In the hubs.
Yeah, where?
In the cafeteria and the library.
Okay, why can't they stay there?
Because the kids on the AB may need to go in there when they can't have the live instruction from the teacher.
Well, they may not be able to do that. They may have to stay where they are.
And then we have a supervision issue.
Why?
Because that teacher's teaching virtually, and there's not an adult in the classroom.
She can't teach virtually from that room and supervise the students who are in that room?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
Because those teachers are saying that their medical notes say that they can't be in close proximity.
That's those 25 that's not going to be with.
So the ones that are coming on 2 days a week, who are they going in front of when they get there? Who are they? Where are they going when they get there? The ones that are going Monday, Tuesday, or Monday, Wednesday.
What teachers are they going in front of? Is the question.
Well, they would be going in front of the live teachers.
The what kind of teachers?
The live. Yeah. How many teachers do we have at the high school?
Do you have 40?
48.
48.
So you're saying all those live teachers are with the hub?
No, ma'am. No, the live. Okay. So with the current numbers, 36 of my 48 teachers are able to have students in their classroom. Okay? So the other 12 can't. So if your schedule has 6 classes on it, and on an average, let's say 2 of those classes, you don't have a teacher who can have you in the classroom. So you might go to first period live. You might go to second period and have to go inside the hub in order to be supervised while that teacher teaches you virtually.
Yes.
Then you might go to third period live and fourth period live. And then fifth period, you might have to go back to the hub in order to learn virtually. And then sixth period, you might get to go live again. But that's going to be different for every kid's schedule.
Right.
So at any given time, there are possibly 12 classes of students that have to have someplace to go other than a classroom.
Right.
And thus the reason we would need to use the hub.
But you said if they come back, that numbers have to go up to 25 or 26, right? Instead of 12.
It's possible. It hasn't. I'm just going by what I've kept a list of the number of teachers who have brought in a note, and a group of teachers who I've listed as the word considering. And of those teachers in the considering category, I don't know how many of those will actually bring in a note if we go with the AB. I have no way of really knowing. I can guesstimate.
Can somebody just make that decision? Can we not? Shane, could we not kind of say you're either in or you're out? Is that a possibility with the teachers that's kind of in limbo?
But I want you to be careful because you're going to go to a sub that doesn't know that
No,
content.
what I'm saying is the 12 that we don't know.
Oh,
Make them go ahead and
they're
commit,
bringing those
so you know what going in.
It's not
Because
fair to the rest of the people. I'm threatening you bringing this, I'm threatening you not. It's
Either bring it or don't.
Yeah, that's all. I didn't know if that's possible.
I will tell you guys, I am praying that number 12 that we currently have might go down to 5 or 6 if we're able to keep classroom sizes small. I'm hoping really bad that it doesn't go above 12.
Shane, would you think
I don't know how I would know that ahead of time.
Shane, would you think that a lot of those teachers have voiced that they're comfortable when the number's around 12 to 18 kids, 15 kids, because they feel like they can keep those spaced out and it not be a health issue?
I think it comes down to the idea that if we were keeping 6 foot social distancing, our average classroom can hold roughly 11 kids in it at the 6 foot social distance. And I think that's where that comfortability comes from. Because that's the CDC guideline that they're pushing is 6 feet social distance. But again, I don't know until we put it out there and see if it works. I don't know.
So if you had 11 in each classroom and you had 35 teachers that was willing to be in there, you could handle 385 students a day, not counting your hubs.
Well, no, because then you're talking about the schedule and the certification issues. So in the in the AB situation right now, you might have 3 kids in your classroom, or you might have 15. I don't know.
Just depends on who's taking. Like AP classes don't have very many in
Right.
them.
Yeah, where a general class might have 15 or 20 kids in it because so many more kids take that class.
Yeah, it'd be hard to pick the 11 is what you're saying. Because algebra 1 versus
High school's difficult. We sat for 3 hours brainstorming the other night, and we're welcome. I mean, we'll take any suggestions, but
If you're saying you want to stick to 11 or 12 in the classrooms so that you can distance them 6 feet apart, if you offered, say, 11 or 12 students would be in that classroom 2 to 3 days a week, the other 2 days they would be in a hub. So that way, all of the students are getting to be with a live teacher a couple of days a week, or maybe even 3. They'll either be in the classroom or they'll be in a hub virtually listening to that teacher.
I
Yes.
don't think they'll
And
wanna
flip
take
those
advantage
kids
of
to
it.
where they're not all always in the hub.
Well, the ones that are there, there's 70
Right,
that
but
are
I'm,
there.
I'm talking about new ones.
No, but those 70,
Yeah.
and those are the ones
Yeah.
that they're there for a reason right now. You know, so that's. And I think we need to do whatever we can to keep them there the 5 days if we can. I mean, whatever we have to do.
Yeah, you need to consider
I
all
badly
that.
want to figure that
Yeah.
out. I was just letting you guys know when I spoke up, and I apologize that I took us on a tangent here.
No, this is very important. To me, this is the most important topic we need to be talking about tonight.
Okay. Well, I was speaking up simply because I don't have the answer to that piece of the puzzle yet, and I'm not going to know that answer until we get a chance to do a registration with an AV hybrid plan. But I'm not, I mean, and so I just didn't want to guarantee that those kids that are currently signed up for the hub are still going to be able to be there for the 5 days. They'll be able to be there for 3 days for sure.
I don't think that should be a choice because the board has voted that an option for the parents, one of the options is to be able to come to school 5 days a week. And I don't think you can take that away from them.
We can.
My understanding on that is the concern for childcare. And if that's the concern, I mean, we're talking about kids who are 14 plus years old here. We're not talking about elementary.
I'm not talking about childcare. I'm talking about an option that we as a board voted on. That those parents who wanted to send their children back 5 days a week would have that option. So you can't take that away from them.
Well, then, depending on the registration numbers, I may be stuck. I don't know the answer to that yet.
I don't think you can do anything until you do the registration and see how many kids are willing to be there. I mean,
And it sounds like we may be coming to the board asking for more personnel for the high school.
Yeah. But I think Shane, and I know you will. I think you need to do whatever you can to get those 70 or 80 kids there that are there right now. Like I say, they came back for a reason right now.
Yeah, and Miss Baker can attend to you. I promise this was a major piece of our conversation on Tuesday as we were presenting the hub plan with that small group. We all agree that those 80 kids that have signed up for the hub, we are very concerned that we want to be able to offer that for those kids. I just wanted to make sure that I was clear that I can't guarantee it because I haven't figured out that piece of the puzzle.
Well, I don't think you have the luxury of saying that I can't guarantee it.
Well, then, Ms. Fryman, I'm going to need you to attend the next planning meeting and help me come up with a solution.
Amen.
I got one question. Shane, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Has there been any, and Amy may know this, Amy can answer. Has there been any like assessment testing to see how these kids are doing at the high school level? As far as that goes, the whole district, I guess, really. But how we're doing? Are the kids falling behind? Are they hanging on? Are they exceeding? Or I hear from some kids saying, I'm really struggling trying to learn this way. And then I've heard some kids. There was one actually I seen at a restaurant, and she loves it, but she's doing the Apex thing, and she loves doing that. So I've heard of both ways. I've probably heard more negative as far as they're not grasping it, I guess. So I didn't know if there's been any kind of assessment done to kind of give us a guideline yet, and maybe that's coming up later in the meeting too.
Shane, you want to talk about your cert?
I can. So first of all, our district learning checks, we just completed the first round of district learning checks. And that data is just due this week. So it hasn't been shared and spoken about in PLCs yet. That data is just now coming through. The CERT test, the good news on the CERT test is our participation rate on the CERT through this virtual piece. By the way, CERT is the Practice ACT program. Our participation in that was higher than it was when we had live students last year. We're at, if I remember correctly, roughly 95% of our students in grades 9 through 11 have completed their cert testing, which is wonderful. It's slightly higher than last year. Now that data, you are correct. They didn't do as well on the cert test this time as they did last time. I mean, they missed, 2 to 3 months of math instruction at the end of last year, or I shouldn't say they missed the instruction, but they definitely got behind. And this learning method it has a curve. So are we where we were a year ago? No, we're not. Is there a drastic difference? We're not seeing the drastic difference yet, but it's not as good as it was last year.
You're not using the auditorium right now for anything, are you?
Correct. And the reason we chose not to use the auditorium as one of the hubs is because those auditorium seats don't have desks. They don't. So, like a kid would have their Chromebook in their lap and basically be hunched over at a Chromebook as opposed to at a desk. Right.
But we got 80 kids there right now that we're worried about. We went on there 5 days a week. So you cut that in half because half of them are going to be in the classroom on Monday, Wednesday, and others on the other half on Tuesday, Thursday. So we got 40 kids. Can we social distance 40 kids in that auditorium?
Absolutely.
Okay. So can we have one person supervise those 40 kids, or do we have to have one? Okay, so we can guarantee them that we can put them in that auditorium and we can hire one person to supervise that hub.
The setting, yeah.
So we got that. So we can guarantee those kids now, right?
That's a very possible solution and one that we've spoken about. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'd feel more comfortable with 2 people with 40 kids.
Well,
the teacher and aide.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be a teacher.
It doesn't even have to be a teacher because the teachers are online.
We could have 2 aides.
That's true. 2 aides.
So I would feel more comfortable with 2 bodies if you all would give us 2 bodies.
You can put tables on that stage. I've seen about 50
of them
the last 2-3 meetings.
They've been testing and different things in that auditorium.
On the stage, I think we figured out on the stage we could get roughly 25 kids at the social distancing with the tables and stuff.
Around the edges,
back a month or so ago. Yeah. But we that is a potential solution.
So, how many times a day would it be 25 kids or whatever in there? What I'm thinking out is how many times a day is all they're going to have to be sanitized with everything in that situation?
Yeah, and that's a great question, Mr. Talbot. Our sanitation, we're going to have to wipe down those desks in that hub between every session, and we'll have a seating chart once we know who those kids are that they'll go to for first period. But then when they go to second period, it's a different seating chart for a different group of kids, just like a classroom at that point.
Thank you.
We're going to Melissa. Yeah.
Melissa, are you ready? Thank you, Shane.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes, ma'am, I'm ready.
You can get out of the hot seat now, Mr. Mitchell. Thank you.
How do I go to the next?
You can hit F5.
Okay.
And it'll present. F5.
Okay, I hit F5.
Okay, well you can go up to slideshow.
No.
Keep going to the right, top right, right there. And you're going to go down and find from beginning. That's good. Hit OK. Don't hit X. There you go.
All right. We have 115 Head Start students enrolled, 27 state funded preschool, 41 local for a total of 183. Our attendance for September was 60%. We have 0 volunteer hours, as you know, because we have no volunteers in the building. Our family service, 100% of our families are participating in goal setting. And below are the different things that they're working on.
You see we have 74% parent education, the high. Health services, let's see here. We have 73% that are up to date on immunizations. And your financial statements are in your board packet. That's all I got.
All right, for extracurricular, thank you, Melissa. For extracurricular, we've got a big event tonight. I'm at the drive-in and they're showing Charlotte's Web, and I wish I was at the drive-in right now.
Mr. Bunce is there.
Is he out there? Yeah, they had a lot of things planned there for Family Literacy Night. I just shout out to the elementary schools for putting that together, and they invited the preschool, so I'm trying to get that early literacy going. Bourbon Central has invited the preschool to join them at the pumpkin patch, down at the Bourbon Central Elementary, where each student's going to get a pumpkin to take home. At Bourbon Central, they're doing a virtual assembly every day to try to keep things as normal as possible. Kentucky Fried Chicken has provided staff lunches in September to our staff at Bourbon Central and Cane Ridge. They're celebrating custodians with a custodian day, and they're going to present to them at assembly tomorrow at North Middletown. She talked about the Christian church that had been providing treats to their staff, and the shampoo that was collected. They've done things, cards, and made things for their custodians, Melissa Jones and Beth Barnett. They've had picture day. Cane Ridge, once again, they're out at the drive-in. They've had their family literacy night. They're continuing curbside pickup for library books. And they're registering kids right now to switch it, get more kids in by November after Election Day. November the Wednesday after Election Day. The middle school, we've got Jesus Mendoza, number 1 overall, and is ranked top 5 in the state for cross country. Girls' first runner-up was Ava Hernandez. Boys basketball and girls volleyball are going to start tryouts on October 26th, and they have a cookie dough fundraiser going, and they're doing that virtually. At the high school, Amy Boone has agreed to head up the Project Grad Committee, and they're going to start that with a virtual meeting this week. Mr. Boutique and his father have recorded and released an album called Ruby Highway. Shane's saying it's awesome there. Miss Hurt's Food Lab classroom, they just had a makeover, and the classroom's just beautiful. If you have a chance to go up there and take a look at it, it looks really good. FFA proficiencies are moving forward, and they're seeing lots of freshmen, so that's good to hear, to get those kids back into FFA. They just had a mum sale and sold over 1,200 mums. The Family Consumer Science Department was given 400 bags of flour and 400 kits to go along with the flour to do bread projects, and they're being encouraged to bake their own bread and then give a loaf of bread away. Athletic news, Jake Wells qualified for state golf tournament for the 2nd year in a row, and Kayla Stacy just barely missed qualifying for the tournament. Volleyball plays in Clark County on Monday for the district tournament. Football, team beat Anderson County last Friday, 41-21, and they go to Lexington Catholic this week, and the game will be streamed on Prep Spin. And the state cross-country meet will be held at the farm out on Millersburg Road on October 31st, so we hope you can go out there and take a look at that cross-country course. With the district, we had, I can't even remember what day, was it yesterday? Dr. Roger Cleveland was with us on a Zoom meeting for a administrators meeting, and we discussed racial issues. He showed some videos and just tried to teach us different ways to look at issues that are going on locally in our state as well as nationally, and being able to respond to those in a positive way. And then you've got numbers there that show the virtual and in person. And that's it for extracurricular. In your packet, you'll see, I think attendance is next. Enrollment. I'm really sad to say at this point right now, we're 50 students down district-wide. Every school is down with the exception of the high school where they've gained 17 students there. Attendance, looks pretty good there for District 94.46 on attendance. We hope that when things start getting better with this COVID, that we can start working on picking those 50 kids back up and even more. All right, after that, you've got personnel resignations, retirement, and transfers. That's it.
Item 2, operation action items. First is the consent agenda. Do I have a motion? Have a motion to have a second? All in favor signify by raising your hand. All opposed do likewise. Motion carried. Tuck, we can't see you, so if you could just say aye or nay, yay or nay,
Okie dokie.
or okie dokie will work. B is action items. Number 1 is agreement for a drink bid. The board has been asked to approve the bid for Pepsi for the 2020-2021 school year. Do I have a motion? Have a motion to have a second. Any discussion?
Pepsi does a great job.
Yeah.
A lot of gratis stuff and just do a good job supporting our school district, so we're happy to keep them.
Any questions? If not, the chair calls for vote. All in favor signify by raising your hand.
Okie dokie.
Four yeses and one okie dokie. Motion carried. Number 2 is bus fuel. The board has been asked to approve a bid for propane and diesel fuel for the 2020-2021 school year. Do I have a motion? Have a motion. Have a motion and a second here. Any discussion?
We're asking to bid.
Huh?
We're asking to bid.
Oh. All right. Oh, it does. Yeah, I didn't. I left that 2 out, didn't I? Any other questions? If not, the chair calls for a vote. All in favor signify by raising your hand. All opposed do likewise. Motion carried. Number 3 is the pay application for the Head Start bus loop, reference 9 in your packet. The board has been asked to approve the pay app for the Bourbon County Head Start bus loop from Ross Tarrant Architects in the amount of $6,295.31. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
I have a motion and a second from Tuck. Any discussion?
We owe them.
We own.
Time to pay.
All right. Any questions? If not, the chair calls for a vote. All in favor, say okie dokie. All opposed? Motion carried. Number 4 is a pay application for high school greenhouse, reference 10 in your packet. The board has been asked to approve the pay app for the Bourbon County High School greenhouse from Ross Tarrant Architects in the amount of $4,322.49. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Have a motion to have a second. Any discussion? Same thing?
We
on. Any questions? If not, the chair calls for a vote. All in favor signify by raising your hand. All opposed do likewise. Motion carried. Number 5 is the BG2 for the Bourbon County Greenhouse, reference 11 in your packet. The board has been asked to approve the BG2 for outline specifications for the Bourbon County High School Greenhouse. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Have a motion to have a second. Have a second. Any discussion?
There's stuff in your packet, but that is an outline for energy design.
An outline.
That came from Randy Brookshire. Was that the email from Randy Brookshire? And that is just specifications for the energy design of the greenhouse.
Any questions? If not, the chair calls for a vote. All in favor signify by raising your hand. All opposed do likewise. Motion carried. Number 6 is BG3 for the Bourbon County Greenhouse probable cost. Reference 12 in your packet. Board's being asked to approve the BG3 for the Bourbon County High School Greenhouse statement of probable cost for the of $23,684. This outlines the anticipated construction cost and soft costs. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
I have a motion. To have a second? Any discussion?
That's
Is that what we thought it was gonna be?
That's not the cost of the
not the whole thing.
no.
It's
It's
just the anticipated construction cost. In their opinion,
anticipated construction cost.
what they think it's gonna cost.
Did we think it was gonna be that much?
It was
It was more than that.
50, wasn't it? Or it started off 50, and then in the last meeting it's like 120 something,
Yeah.
and now it's dropped down to 23.
That's what they sent us.
I like that though.
Yeah.
It's the reference on number 12, so
I'll make a motion
y'all look at it,
to take it,
make sure it's right.
hold us to it.
Yeah.
But then
Well,
there'll be
Total
other-
project cost 156,000, according to reference 12.
So,
This is soft cost. It says soft cost here. What?
And we know number 5 is the design.
Our architect. That's for the architect fees, contingencies, printing and
That's
distribution.
not the whole total.
Plans.
That's just,
Is it? Yeah. So you see, if on reference 12, you see the 133. That's the cost of the building. This other stuff, the ones below that, architect fee, printing and distribution, contingencies, and other costs. That's what we're voting on there. We're not voting. This is not the total cost of the project. No. Have we ever done that before, Sam?
is that, I mean, is that right, or does it make sense?
Well, I mean, we've never done that before. It's
I have no recollection of ever voting on probable cost.
And I had never heard of a BG3 before.
I never remember us.
Do you have the email that you got there? That you had from him?
and we're apparently
You
paid
showed it
for
to
that
me,
as a
but did you
board.
leave it for me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were talking about fundraising to pay for it. There's no way they can
I
fund.
need me to try to log in and,
No, I'll pull it up on my phone.
okay.
no,
I'll
it's
send it to you. Because I mean, maybe I wrote it up wrong, but I took it off of that little sheet, you know, however.
If you want me to print it or something, I can do that.
Maybe I wrote the number wrong. I mean, I didn't look at the little sheet.
we're basically what.
Okay, so they're saying BG2 is the KDE form for the specification outline and energy design. This is not very involved for a greenhouse, is what he said. Then he said BG3, he didn't really give us that much more information. This outlines the anticipated construction costs and soft costs.
But he didn't put a amount.
He didn't put an amount there.
I think when Jim and I were talking about it, because I didn't know what amount to put, you know what I'm saying? So maybe that amount's not right. Maybe I'm supposed to put.
There's an
Maybe I'm supposed to
attachment.
put the total thing
Let me see
down
what the
there
attachment
of the probable cost. I don't know. Does that make sense?
I can't.
But we're basically approving whatever the BG3 is. Which, like I say, I never heard of one of those either. But
I
we're
called Jim today to explain BG3.
we're not locking ourselves into any money until we approve the project. Correct?
I think the thing to do is to just
Does that make sense?
amend it.
Amend it, scratch the amount, and just
Take out the amount.
just approve the BG3.
That's what I think we need. And just leave it at probable. Just statement of probable cost.
Leave it at what?
Probably.
Just probable cost.
Probable cost. Okay.
So just a minute, right?
Yes. Scratch. You're going to scratch of and 23,684.
So we need to.
So
What,
you're taking the
no.
money out of it?
amend.
You're taking the money out of it?
You're going to take the of 23,684 out, and then in that last sentence they're saying this outlines anticipated construction costs and soft costs. Do we need to? It's okay to leave it in there. Okay. Do I have a motion to amend the current motion to read? To read, the board is being asked to approve the BG3 for the Bourbon County High School greenhouse statement of probable cost. This outlines anticipated construction cost and soft cost. I have one okie dokie to. I have a motion. I have a second on that. You say I got a second. All in favor signify by raising your hand. All opposed, do likewise. Motion's been amended. All right, any other questions? We good, Sam, you think? Okay. There's no other questions. The chair calls for a vote. All in favor signify by raising your hand. All opposed, do likewise. Motion carried. Number 7 is Bourbon County High School greenhouse enhancing design, reference 13 in your packet. The board is being asked to approve the enhancing education design for the Bourbon County High School greenhouse. Do I have a motion? Have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Any discussion?
Jim said that one was all about the design of the greenhouse. And you see here the plans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what they do.
Enhancing education design. What does all that mean, Sam? Do you know?
I guess they've laid it out so it makes it easier to teach and learn, but I don't know what.
That's a new one. That's never been on there. Well, there's no money amount in there, so it can't hurt us. Any questions? If not, the chair calls for a vote. All in favor signify by raising your hand. All opposed do likewise. Motion carried. Number 8, Central Kentucky Interpreter Referral. The board's being asked to approve the contract with Central Kentucky Interpreter Referral Incorporated for Spanish interpreting services. This agency will be used when an in-district employee is not available to attend an ARC either during the workday or after hours. The initial fee is $80, and assignments that go beyond 2 hours will be billed at an additional $40 per hour. Billing is accrued in 15-minute increments. After hours 5 to 7 will be an additional $5 per hour. This service will be paid through the special education funds. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Have a motion to have a second. Any discussion?
We're just having a greater need for an interpreter for families that English is not their first language.
Kelly, you're on there. You have something you want to add?
Yeah, we just have an increase of Spanish-speaking students, especially this year. And with some of the people that we're using as interpreters in the district, they have other responsibilities. And so this just gives us an option if we get stuck and we have a date that a parent's able to come in and we're able to make that contact, we can use this company, and it's used throughout the whole state, but we can contact them and they can come in and help us. They know about special ed, they know about reports and IEPs, so they can speak really intelligently about all of that stuff also.
Any questions? If not, the chair calls for a vote. All in favor signify by raising your hand. All opposed do likewise. Motion carried. Number 9 is Head Start Family Service Worker, reference 14 in your packet. The board is being asked to approve a Head Start Family Service Worker starting salary at $15.84 an hour. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Have a motion. To have a second? Have a second. Any discussion?
This would be an equivalent to like our family resource centers that have an assistant director. Like at between the high school and middle school, there's an assistant there. Just because there's so many family visits and so much to do at the preschool, they just needed extra help up there with Amy Graves' position. She's the main director, but just an extra person. And we just based the job description on the assistant one with the family resource and tied it to the salary schedule of the assistant family resource director. Same type duties.
All right. Any questions? If not, the chair calls for a vote. All in favor signify by raising your hand. All opposed do likewise. Motion carried. We what? Scratch number 10 since we're not going to executive. All right. So we are going to scratch number 10. Any other board business anyone would like to discuss? Do I have a motion for adjournment?
Okie dokie.
Yeah, I have an okie dokie. Do I have a second? Second is okie dokie. All in favor signify by raising your right hand. All opposed do likewise. Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.